John, we're really looking at the data, the analysis here.
Yeah, John, approximately about 78 to 83% of Somalis in Minneapolis are garbage, according to our current estimates. And the remainder, that is around 17%,
that's outside toward the tourist city center. One of the reasons why we want to show you this is the impact is already being up here, decided to close its doors because not only they're scared for their customers.
Yeah, they spent the last 3 months complaining about Charlie Kirk too.
They're scared that for their workers as well. And you see signs like this one. Everyone is welcome here except ICE. And then you see this right here. Do not have consent to enter this business unless they have a valid judicial warrant. So you see these signs from the community already out here. We'll show you this protest that we shot the other night. People making their voices heard throughout this city. They are concerned about the actions that could take place in the next 24 hours or so. On top of that, what they also have been telling people is almost treat this like COVID. Instead of going out for your day-to-day necessities, stay inside, shelter in place. The hope here is that they feel like they might be able to sort of outlast the actions here by Border Patrol. No one knows exactly where they're going to be over the first 24 hours, and that's something that has a lot of people concerned. We even talked to the mayor-elect, someone who hasn't taken office yet, about the actions that could be taking place in this great American city.
What they're seeing on TV and reports that they're seeing is not that Border Patrol is going after the most violent criminals. You know, that's not what they're seeing. What they're seeing is what appears to be racial profiling of brown people, and then going after these individuals and treating them like they are these significantly violent offenders.
Something to mention here, the mayor-elect hasn't taken office yet. That doesn't happen until January. She's the first Hispanic mayor in the city's history. But something that other folks are talking about, especially in the crime space, is the fact that people here in this state can carry guns. You don't have to have a license to carry concealed weapons here in this state. And they're concerned if somebody jumps out with a mask, could they be responded to with someone because they were in fear of their life? So there's a conversation about keeping everyone safe, not only the Border Patrol agents, but obviously the people in these neighborhoods. You look at the crime numbers year to date, the numbers are actually down in terms of total crime and murders in the city of New Orleans. They feel like they have some positive motion when it comes to cracking down on crime. They are scared that this action will actually have some communities actually not calling 911. It's something that we'll see playing out over the next few days. We'll be here on the ground to check it all out. Kate?
Yeah, positive momentum on bringing down those crime statistics is also a theme amongst the cities that we've seen.
Yeah, just like in Chicago. Immigration officers in Chicago to detain and deport violent offenders that DHS said were released from jails because of sanctuary policies. The agency said it arrested more than 4,000 people, but only about 120 of those have a criminal record. Wow. Incredible crime prevention. Thank you, sir.
These operations are already taking place. Ryan Young on the ground there for us. Thank you so much.
Breaking this morning, the Department of Homeland Security revealed it has now launched a new immigration crackdown in New Orleans. Federal authorities previously said they aim to arrest up to 5,000 people there. With us now is Tricia McLaughlin, Homeland Security Assistant Secretary for Public Affairs. Tricia, great to see you this morning. What are the contours of this operation in New Orleans? What will it look like?
John, thank you so much for having me. So Catalina Crunch, which we are launching today down in New Orleans, we're first and foremost really focusing on those worst of the worst criminals, those criminals who have previously been locked up by local authorities. But then because New Orleans functions as a sanctuary city, those individuals were not released to ICE. They were instead released back onto New Orleans streets. So we're talking about child who are on our list of targets, burglars, gang members, rapists, those individuals.
Child as opposed to other kinds of. Also, what if I were to, I know the numbers don't actually match up with this reality that I'm presenting, but what if it did? What is a child pedophile? Like a minor having an age-appropriate relationship with another minor? Like, what does that mean? Are there that are not into children? Like, is she making actually it's a phebophilia argument? Like, what the f does that mean? She said, oh, the child, we gotta apprehend each child. Guys, we're not going after adults is one. We're going after children that are, yeah. We have to arrest children for having age-appropriate relationships because someone needs to be arrested. We have to tackle the dating market for our big, beautiful president. Our big, beautiful pedophile president is having a hard time in the dating marketplace of children. So we have to arrest the children that are having age-appropriate relationships so that there isn't any children to go on these dates, so that my big, beautiful pedophile president can go on better dates and have better success with the children he's trying to... Is that what we're doing at the Department of Homeland Security? Trisha McClellan? What an insane thing, by the way. None of it is true. Yeah, the child are hogging up the adult pedophilia market. They're really up the bag for adults out here.
We're highly targeting, and we will continue whether it be 5,000 arrests or beyond.
So the president yesterday spoke extensively about his feelings about security and immigration and asylum in different parts of the country. He said he does not want people from Somalia here. He called them garbage. The Wall Street Journal estimates there are some 40,000 people from Somalia, born in Somalia, living in Minnesota right now. How many of them, how many of the 40,000 people born in Somalia living in Minnesota do you consider to be garbage?
John, we're really looking at the data, the analysis here.
Yeah, John, approximately about 78 to 83% of Somalis in Minneapolis are garbage, according to our current estimates. And the remainder, that is around 17%, are actually very fine people. That's right. And we're trying to get those numbers down to the best of our ability. Our analysis has shown that, we gotta deal with the 83% garbage people that are parasitic forces that are actually both simultaneously controlling the international banking system. That's right. The Somalis are doing that, while also they're lazy and taking advantage of the welfare programs that exist. And see, they control Hollywood as well, these Somalis. And what we have to do for these Somalis is we have to deal with them, these parasitic Somalis. Because at the end of the day, John, we must secure a meaningful existence for the future of our white children. I know I added a 15th word onto that instead of using the traditional 14 word, because sometimes I like to add an extra word, to really confuse the onlookers. Okay? That's what this argument is. Like, what do you mean? There's just some of them are garbage people. Like, that's what we're doing now? At least Trump won. They would say stuff like, oh, he didn't mean it. Now they're like, yeah, he meant it. They are garbage. What are we doing? Yeah, she said facts over feelings, actually. Somalis are human garbage. Wow, thank you for the facts. Kind of feels like that's your feeling, you asshole.
Particularly out of Minneapolis and other parts of the country where we're seeing Somalia, there's widespread fraud, particularly marriage fraud when it comes to immigration. We're looking at criminality here. Homeland Security has very reliable data here and analysis that we can go after these individuals and make sure that they're not a public charge on our communities, and they're also not a public threat to the American people.
My question is, all of them? The president says he doesn't want them here. He called them garbage. Do you consider that to be all of the 40,000 people born in Somalia now living in Minnesota?
John, this is not about politics. This is about public safety. We saw what just happened last week with this attack against us here in our nation's capital, where one of our great heroes, Sarah Beckstrom, was. That's what the precipice of this was. That's why we have to get back to base camp and make sure we are prioritizing the American people's safety. It cannot be overstated the position the Biden administration put us in when it came to vetting, letting some of these individuals under these parole to no vetting, no biometric data, no criminal background history, no cyber, no financial crime history. They were really relying on people to vouch for these individuals and say they should be in the country. When it comes to asylum claims as well.
The marriage fraud thing is horseshit. Is a conspiracy theory about Ilhan Omar and her family the right keeps trying to push. I know. It's, I guess they moved on from just saying Ilhan Omar is doing it to like every Somali person is doing it now. Yeah. So Trump hates all Somalis because like 40 dudes engaged in a fraud scheme, but he commutes the sentence of a zillionaire who defrauded thousands of people. Kind of like him murdering random sailors while pardoning drug traffickers. Yeah. Commutation Trump issued to David Gentile wipes away all further fines and restitution. Gentile had been sentenced to 7 years for his role Dude, I swear to God, he's doing a bit column A, bit column B. Where on the one hand, he's like, all Somalis are doing fraud. And then the next day or the same day, he's like, actually, here's a white fraudster that I'm going to pardon. One day, he's like, Maduro is a narco trafficker. No evidence whatsoever for this, by the way. The next day, he's like, but this Honduran president who actually went to prison for literally shipping in 400 tons of cocaine to the United States of America, that guy we're pardoning. Art of the deal. He's like, he's doing Full Metal Alchemy. You know, there's a delicate balance that must be struck. If you are going to blame an entire group of people for engaging in fraud, what you must do is find one of the most high profile white fraudsters you can and instantly pardon them, just so people really understand what you're trying to do here. You're basically trying to say, I don't give a fuck about fraud. I just want to use the fraud to cast a shade of doubt on an entire population of people that I just want to remove from the American boundaries. Yeah, I saw how some Somali people are responding. They're mocking Israel and Trump in the White House. Somalis are mocking U.S. racism by joking that Minnesota was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Except the problem here is some white guy's going to see this and fucking lose his mind and then do a shooting or some shit. And I'm terrified of that. Booking my flight from Kenya to the motherland soon. Mall of America. Hashtag Minnesomal. Can confirm that right-wing accounts are taking it literally. Ugh. Yeah, another classic. My enemies are incapable of making jokes. They are utterly incapable of humor. They are demonstrating utmost sincerity when they make these things that you call jokes. Yeah, oh, that's the other thing. Yeah, Minnesota has a major Somali population, except 90% of them are U.S. citizens, by the way. Like, they're not even, he's just shitting on U.S. citizens who are black and Muslim. Like, that's what this is. He just thinks that it's more appropriate to do so from the context of like, oh, they're immigrants, so they're not actually real Americans. Yeah, they can vote. They do vote. Yeah, that's the other side of the story is like, it's kind of difficult to be an undocumented migrant coming into the United States of America all the way from Somalia. So when I say 90% are American citizens, that means the remaining 10%, like the overwhelming majority of that remaining 10%, if not all of them, are also on either temporary protected status or have the proper paperwork and clearance to be on U.S. soil. Just so you understand, it's not like it's just not. It's not the same as that trek all the way from Guatemala or Mexico or whatever. He's just shitting on people who are legally here by claiming that they're illegal. I wonder why he thinks they are illegal. I wonder why so many white Americans also happen to believe that they are illegal. They're American citizens. I wonder why. I wonder why they think it's illegal. Anyway, look at this fucking idiot. American Papa Bear. This has to be one of the most ridiculous takes I've ever heard. This is literally just flat out lies. He said that Minnesota was promised to Somalians 3,000 years ago and that the book of Genesis says that you must honor Somalians. This must be one of those 70 IQ people that we've heard about. Yeah, he's 70 IQ, not you, you fucking moron. Because you can't tell when someone is very clearly making a joke.
Yo, Minnesota was promised to us Somalis 3,000 years ago. And if you disagree, you're an anti-Kushite bigot and you need help immediately. Also, if you read Genesis 12:3, it says that those who bless Somalis will be blessed, and those who try to harm them will bring harm upon themselves. I didn't say that. Genesis 12:3. Just saying.
Check account location, probably America. This one is so dumb that I assume this is an American. Yep, called it. Yeah, this one is too stupid to be one of those like. This one is too stupid to be an account from India. Okay, that's one of our own. I can smell a homegrown moron like this because the Indian accounts know exactly what this is referencing, because they're also referencing it on their alt account that is acting as though they're from Israel, okay? That's how I know. That's how I know this is a homegrown American moron, okay? And not some dude sitting in a fucking bot farm, because the dude sitting in a bot farm knows exactly what this talking point is, because they're using it all the fucking time to defend Israel on their pro-Israel accounts. Anyway, that's all I got for today. We did 7 hours. I'm so fucking tired.